Hello and welcome to another Purveyor of Light Photoshop quick tip. Today we're going to show you how to make a old faded black and white photo preset so that you can run this action over and over. And I think the best way to learn how to do anything in Photoshop is actually to just do it and understand how the layers work and work together. And so we're going to run through that for you, and we're going to show you how to record an action. And then when you're done, this action will be something that you can run on any photo and get a very good result. Okay, so what we're going for is something like this. We have this photo here, and with the effect, you can see now we have an aged black and white photo, okay, and takes you back in time. So that's what we're going for today. So we're going to go ahead and throw this away and start nice and fresh. All right, so the first thing we need to do is when we're making an action, we want to make sure that it will work with all images, okay? And so we need to make it adjustable if need be. So always bear that in mind when you're working with an action. So we're going to go to the action panel, and my action panel is right here. Now, if you don't see your action panel, no problem. Just go up to Window and then go to Actions. And it will open up your actions, okay? And what we're going to do is we are going to record a brand new one. And we're going to give it a name. And when you're naming these things, make sure it's something that, describes what the action does. So many times people will just put frivolous names, and that doesn't help you remember, 6 months down the road what this action does. So we'll go old black and white. Okay, or vintage, as we say. And we'll put that in there, and we could assign it a color. We'll assign it blue. How's that? And then we'll hit record. And now Photoshop is going to record every single thing that we do. Okay, so we have to be very careful about what we're doing and very deliberate for what we're doing. So now the first step is I'm going to duplicate this background layer. So with that selected, Command or Control J, and now we have a duplicate. And you can see that's recorded as our first step in our action. And the first thing I'm going to do is rename this as a sharpen layer. And enter to click that. Then I'm going to go up to filter. And then we're going to go to sharpen and unsharp mask. And we're going to sharpen it quite a bit. We'll go 100%, 5 radius, and 0 threshold. Okay, and you can see how much that adds into it. Okay, so it's quite sharp, and the way we're doing this on layers, it'll be easily reversible. Okay, so we hit OK. So now we have that sharpen layer, and now we're going to reduce the effect because it is way too much. Okay, so if we look at this, we can see it's way too sharp. So what we're going to do is we're going to just simply drop the opacity. Okay, and we can do that by pulling down here, and we can bring our bar in, and around 50% will be good for our sharpening layer. Okay, so that's our first step done. Now we're going to add a black and white adjustment layer. All right, so the adjustment layer you can get from your adjustments panel, okay, right here. Or if you like, you can go up to Window and then Adjustments if you want to do it that way. Or you can go down a third way and you can come down to the bottom and do a adjustment layer here. So we'll do the black and white right here. And now we have that layer here. And you see how we're starting to get a little noise. We're starting to get that black and white look. I'm just going to go ahead and accept the defaults because Photoshop does a pretty good job by default. And again, I'm shooting for this action to be very generic, that it will work with all types of photos. All right, so now that we have our black and white layer, we're going to add another adjustment layer. We're going to add a exposure adjustment layer. So again, same principles go. I could come up to my adjustment panel, or I could come down here. A lot of people just like to work down at the bottom level and keep it that way. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we're going to do a exposure adjustment layer. So we're selecting that. And now we are going to work with the exposure, the offset, and the gamma. Now, for just a little bit of clarity here, basically what this translates to is exposure is the highlight tones of the image. Okay, the offset is the midtones, and the gamma is your shadows. Okay, so that helps people understand what the sliders do. And we are going to adjust these down, and I'm going to take this down to, probably about 1.2. I think that looks pretty good on it. The offset, I'm going to increase and give me that faded look. Okay, and then the gamma correction, I'm going to decrease down to let's see here. And then what I'm doing is I'm just looking by eye what I like. 1.45 will do pretty well. Okay, and now we have those adjustments done on the layer here. All we need to do now, again, is to back off the effect a little bit, okay, and go to the opacity slider, and we're going to drop this back down to 75. I think that looks pretty good. 71 was what I'm going to decide on for my fade. Okay, I think that works just beautifully. And now our last thing to do is to do a cross process on this image here. And that's very easy to do as well. We're going to come down to our adjustments, and we're going to put a curve adjustment this time. And so come up and do a curves. And now we have our curves, and I'll work by default on the RGB channel. Okay, what I want to do is I want to adjust each individual channel at a time. Okay, so I'm going to go to red, and now we're working on the red curve, and I want to introduce a rather strong S curve. So I'm going to come up and put a dot here and put a dot here, and then I'm going to introduce a strong S curve. Okay, and you can see how we're changing the photo. I'm going to come into the shadows and darken them. Okay, so that's a rather strong S curve, as you can see. So now we're going to go to the green channel, pull down on there and go to the green channel. And we are now going to do an S curve as well. Okay, but just not quite as strong. So we're going to come in here, and again, looking at that. So we're going for our effect, not too strong on the green. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, and then finally we're going to be doing our blue channel. And for blue channel, we are going to do another curve, but we're going to do a reverse S. Okay, so instead of doing the normal S curve, we're going to reverse it. So we're coming up with our things and then down with the things. And again, you're looking at the adjustments. So pretty slight on this one here. So, but again, it's a reverse. The S is reversed in the curve, as you can see. So, and again, we're going to then take the opacity and we're going to drop it down because we want to be able to adjust it. Yeah, and I think that looks pretty good at about 61%. So we're going to go ahead and stop the action recording. So we're coming up here and we're going to hit the stop button. And there we go. Our black and white is there, okay? And I prefer to run my actions in the hamburger mode or the button mode. So I come up to the hamburger and I hit button, and there's my old black and white in the button effect. So that I think looks pretty good. Now here we have that nice effect. And the reason we did it this way is because we can always adjust the opacities if we're not happy with a particular image that comes out. Okay? So all we have to do is just adjust the opacities on these to increase or decrease the effect of the action. So that's the whole purpose of separating everything that way on opacities. All right. So I think we'll just go ahead and give this a test. So I'm going to take the first layer and the second layer, and then I'm going to throw these away, put it in the trash, and now we're back with the original image. And now let's go ahead and test our brand new action. So old black and white vintage, and there we go. With one click, we've got a beautifully aged image, and we have that beautiful effect that's so timeless and that takes you back. You look at this photo, you would swear it was, maybe taken back in the 60s. So it gives you a timeless look. So there you go. And now that you've created this action for yourself, you can call this on any photo you wish to. And so that'll do it for this week, guys. Till next week, you guys take care.